What's up, road trippers? This is Jesse from Rockabilly Road Trip. I am the writer and co-creator with my man Preston, and we happened across a case of the original Rockabilly Road Trip #1, originally published on, what was it, December 2006. So what we're doing is we're autographing each of them and offering them as a perk for our Indiegogo campaign, just to keep the book moving. I think we're on book 7 now. 8's already done, so we're looking for your help to finish up the series and hopefully catapult this thing into a movie. So I'm going to be signing these, shipping them off to Preston in New Orleans, and kind of giving you a little behind the scenes information about issue #1, how it came to be, and kind of like a director's commentary. I can't do two things at once, so you have to deal with my pauses. This pen kind of sucks. Let's try this one. So originally I met Preston online in probably 2005, way back in the day when creating your own comic book, not that it's easy now, but it was a hell of a lot more difficult. So I was looking all over for an artist and signed online and got this email from this kid Preston who was like, I'm your guy, I'm gonna do this comic book. And I've heard it all before. I was trying to create a mini series based on some little toys that I created called Puppet Terrors. I'm a big horror fan, and my existing artist was terrible. Then I got lucky and I scored a very early blossoming Ethan Nicole from Axe Cop fame to do issue number, I think, 2 for me. Came out great, but he was destined for stardom. So eventually he hit the road, and I was back to trying to find the right guy to get the look. So I get this email, Preston saying he's the dude that's going to get it done. And online, everyone's like, oh yeah, comic book, that sounds fun, I'll do it. And probably nothing but fun, not hard work at all. And they all do 1 or 2 pages and they drop out. So I gave the kid a chance, and he rocked it. He destroyed everything beyond my wildest expectations, brought my story to life of my little toys. We became friends, and he started sending over these sketches. He's like, hey, you got a comic book, I want a comic book, what do you think of these guys? And he sent over a bunch, and the 2 that really caught my eye were kind of a Bride of Frankenstein looking character and a very early rough rendition of Nicky the Pipe. So right about that time, I started getting into, it was way back in MySpace days, started getting into psychobilly music. Again, I like horror, so I liked kind of all the the imagery that came with the music and the outlandish lyrics and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? With all the imagery associated with like rockabilly, psychobilly, you have Big Daddy Roth and Ratfink. I don't think there was ever like a really concise story, or nobody really ever brought it to life and told a cool story from end to end. So I started crafting a story and came up with the idea for Rockabilly Road Trip, and I shot it past him. He loved it, and he started illustrating the whole thing. And he kind of likes to bust his own balls about the art in issue #1, but I think it's awesome. It's kind of like this painted, pencil lead kind of style that really suits everything really nice. So he hates his art on issue #1, but I still dig it, think it's perfect. And he's only been getting better and better. So, knowing from my experience, even in 2006, that it's going to be difficult to make any kind of money in the independent comic scene. Flash forward 14 years, it's still very, very difficult, even though fandom being at its all-time high, comic books should be blowing the doors off of things. You think about the toy industry and the movie industry and, Walking Dead on TV and all this kind of fandom that's exploded. The place it blew out of was comic books, and they still don't get as much love as they should. It's very hard work. You gotta stay hydrated. So we came up with the idea that, hey, if our awesome story isn't enough to bring people into the fold and get them to read Rockabilly Road Trip, why don't we do half the issue about rockabilly music and culture and all types of different things that, someone else who may not be 100% into comics would pick the magazine up for and ultimately get turned on to our cool story. So in the first issue, I decided that, all right, I'm going to put in the extra legwork, and we interviewed, let's see, issue number 1, we interviewed the band The Creepshow, which is still in existence, still a big favorite of mine, but you can see they had their original singer who got pregnant and became a mom, so they had to replace her, but definitely old school Creepshow. Our first road trip recommendation, which was Vulture Club. So our first band that we thought was perfect for a road trip. Flash forward a bunch of years, and they are the guys that developed our theme song. I think they're in the Netherlands. I can't remember. Yeah, Americans are terrible. If you're not from America, we don't remember where you're from. We suck. So became friends with Vulture Club. Culture Club is a very different band. If you're searching for Vulture Club, make sure you spell it with a V, not a C, because you'll be wildly disappointed and wondering what the hell Culture Club is doing in a Rockabilly Road Trip magazine. So became friendly with the band, started giving away their music, which was okay back in the day because it was all on MySpace. And we created kind of like a little mini playlist recommendation for anyone who read the book and was going on a road trip. Very interesting visuals. I'm trying to have the audio be as quality as possible. That way it makes up for the shitty visual of me blowing on books. So where was I? Vulture Club is awesome. Love those guys. If you haven't heard our theme song or seen our sizzle reel, just check out this channel. They created a great song specifically for us, and we're going to take it all the way onto the silver screen. What else do we have here? We had a bunch of ads. Again, showing the age of the book. We had Roadside Attractions, which was Asbury Lanes, which was an awesome kind of vintage bowling alley in Asbury Park. Sadly, I believe they are no longer, but they would have a stage set up right in the middle of the lanes, and you can bowl while a concert was going on. Obviously a small venue, so perfect for smaller, more indie shows. Reverend Horton Heat played there, who we also referenced in the first issue as Nikki's main goal. If you don't know what that is, you should definitely pick up the book and check it out. Love the mighty Reverend. I actually saw him way back in the day when he was opening for White Zombie, not Rob Zombie. And they opened for White Zombie, and of course me and the rest of the idiot young whippersnapper crowd were like, if it's not evil metal, it's shit. So we didn't give him much time of day, but Rob Zombie, like him or hate him, he's always a little bit ahead of his time, so he knew that it was kind of the perfect venue for the Rev. So wish I can go back in time and re-see that show, but saw Reverend probably a year ago at Brooklyn Bowl. Was it Brooklyn Bowl? Somewhere in the city, and it's a great show as always. So, what else can I tell you guys about the creation of the first Rockabilly Road Trip? It's all black and white, obviously, which is the first 6 issues. The next issue, which is kind of volume 1, I call it issue 1 of volume 2. We're trying to turn over a new leaf, a new production schedule, and we're doing the whole thing in color. So that'll add a new dimension to, another puppeteer slipped in there. Add a new dimension to the trip. First issue, coincidentally, if you see I'm wearing an I Love Texas t-shirt, massive fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Also embodies kind of the indie spirit, and embodies a lot of the spirit of Rockabilly Road Trip. Sets place in Texas, a few stops into the Rockabilly Road Trip, and of course, a staple of a Texas road trip is those creepy back roads where anything can happen, and Patches and Nikki run into a chainsaw wielding family, and that is one hell of a way to kick off the trip. So if you're a fan of Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, definitely my favorite. If you think of all the franchises, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, I think Leatherface is the best. So we have 60 issues here that we're quote unquote giving away. I don't like to say giving away because it is an Indiegogo and essentially we're just begging for money, but the way we set it up is you're essentially just pre-ordering the book and getting a whole bunch of extra crap for free. So it's kind of not like charity, I hope, even though you have to beg people to kind of check it out. You're definitely going to get your money's worth. I think Preston was popping these issue number 1s out on the Comic-Con circuit when they were long gone and out of publication for about $50 a pop. And some psychopaths were actually paying that. So now you get one much cheaper, completely authentic, from the dark, disturbing bowels of Chainsaw Estates, which is what I call my house. Just happened upon a dusty old box of these amongst all my other indie publications and thought it would be a great perk for the true hardcores that want to complete the Rockabilly Road Trip collection. So, there's 60 comics here, actually 61. So, that extra comic, me being a lazy asshole, since I have to go to the post office anyway and mail these to Preston over in Louisiana, I am going to give one of these away to one of you lucky viewers. So, if you would like your own autographed copy of the vintage 2006 first issue, I will give one away to the best question in the comments below. So if you come up with a question, it doesn't have to be Rockabilly Road Trip related, but that may sway me to give you some extra points. No. For anyone asking a question, can I make you a grilled cheese? The answer is no. But if you come up with a good question, the best question, the funniest question, the weirdest question that I haven't been asked about Rockabilly Road Trip yet, I will ship out a signed copy to you. So, get your brains moving. Check out our website. Check out our sizzle reel. Check out Preston's, my partner, the artist on the account. Check out his YouTube channel. I believe it's under Doc Salem. His Twitter is at Nicky the Pipe. He likes to go by a whole bunch of different monikers, making it really difficult for you guys to find all the goodies out there. But find him, get up to snuff on Rockabilly Road Trip, come up with a question, put it in the comments below, and as soon as the Indiegogo campaign ends, I'll be back with another video. I'll choose the winner, and I will ship out your book if you give me your contact information once I contact you. So check all our stuff out. Check out our Indiegogo, which is linked in the description below. If you want to get one of these, get them before they're gone. And if you can't afford it, come up with a good question, and I will mail you a free copy if you are the best. So, hope to see you guys on the road. Check out Vulture Club if you need a good road trip playlist. And got a couple more books to go. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me blow on stuff. I'm out of information. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.